Yoo-hoo, let's get started. Now this video is very important, and why I'm so excited, I'll tell you right away. This video is not just about the CAPM exam. This video, I will be talking about the key terminologies, the lexicon which is used day in and day out in your project management world. Why this is important, not just for the CAPM exam, all this lexicon which I'm going to teach you, you can use it in your PMP preparation, in your program management preparation, in your ACP preparation. So it doesn't matter what type of certification you are preparing in. This video is most important because it's common for all the different types of certification. But if you know me, for me, learning about certification is one thing, but the real learning is how much did you actually learn so that you can go in and apply in your day-to-day world. So I am all about the practical side of project management so that you can help, you can do well in your interviews. So that's what my focus is. So let's get started. I will be starting with the introduction to project management core concepts and some of the objectives, like of course, this is going to help you for the CAPM exam. I will tell you the difference between project, program and portfolio. You will also understand the different types of life cycles in this complete chapter, like the predictive, like the agile. We will also talk about what are the different types of roles in project management industry. We'll understand the difference between the leadership and management. And finally, we will end up this chapter with the PMI code of ethics and professional conduct. Very important. All this you will be learning in this chapter, but this video is all about the first topic, which is the basic terminologies, like the difference between project, program. And you know what? Let's go into it right away and do it step by step. And remember, we will be doing all these learning through a case study. So in this video, we will talk about the project, program, portfolio, what is the difference between project and product. We will go over the overview, the life cycle overview. We'll understand the difference between project and operations. We will understand what is project environment, the internal environment, the external environment, the relationship of operations with project, program and portfolio, the phase gate. We will also talk about the phase gate, the Q gate which is also known as, and finally we will end up this topic in this chapter with your triangle of constraint, the iron triangle. Let's go over it step by step. We are talking about project management, right? Project management. What do I mean by project? Remember, there are three important keywords in project. First, project is always temporary. Now, what do I mean by project is temporary? It will always have a specific end date associated with it. First step, it's not an ongoing thing, because if it's an ongoing thing, it is known as an operation. Second, it should always be unique. Unique means the deliverable, the service, the product which you are creating as part of this project is unique. It's never been done before, or in fact, you have never done that before. And finally, it can be part of program. It can be part of an operation, it can be part of a portfolio, a project, or it could be a standalone also. Now let's talk about our pizza project. First of all, it's temporary. What do I mean by that? I am cooking that pizza tonight for dinner. So it has a definite end date. Second, it's unique. Why it is unique? The kind of spices I will put, the kind of marinara sauce which I will do, the base it's all that is unique. It's being done by me, not by someone else. So it is unique. And it's part of our program of, eating dinner tonight. So it's part of a program also. When you do a particular project, you always have some processes which are required to be done as a part of a project. What is a process? So basically, it's a series of steps which you do in order to accomplish that project. Like, for instance, I want to make that pizza, right? For me, that's my project. What are the different processes I will do? Like, I will cut the veggies, right? I will, make the base, the dough. I will put the marinara sauce. All that is a step-by-step process which is required to fulfill my dream of eating a delicious homemade pizza. Now, Pimbok says that there are 5 process groups. Now, what are those 5 process groups? First, it is your initiating process group. When you start something, like before you even start a project, you ask this question to yourself: why are you even doing this project? I am doing this pizza project because I don't want my son to eat a pizza from outside. I don't know what all they put on my pizza. Is it a good pizza, bad pizza? Are they even wearing gloves while making that pizza? I don't know. So I want to make sure I make a healthy wheat base pizza for my son. But there's a question is, why are you doing it? That's your business case. That will be part of your initiating process group. From initiating, we'll move to the planning, where we would document all the requirements. What type of pizza do we need? What is the size of the pizza? What all resources you will need? We'll define what kind of risk can your project happen. All that would be first planned. From planning process group, we will move to the execution process group, where we would be actually making that pizza, putting that pizza in the oven. The act of doing a work is your executing process group. From the executing process group, we'll move to the monitoring and controlling process group, which is all about testing variance. Is my wife asked for a pesto based pizza? Did I make a pesto based pizza or no? Or I just put probably, or did I make a white pizza, right? What did I do wrong? What did I do right? That's the variance. That's the difference between planned and actual, which we will learn in the monitoring and control process group. And finally, once everything is done, we will close our pizza project by delivering the pizza to my son, to my wife, to my neighbor, so that they can eat it, enjoy it. So we will measure the customer satisfaction as part of your closing process group. Now, throughout this process, there is a life cycle, a project life cycle, how it gets started and how it gets end. First of all, another important point, a life cycle and a process group, the 5 process group which I just taught you, are different things. Like in a life cycle, you can do these process groups multiple times. Like first we start with the conceptual. Conceptual is like, what is the concept? Hey, when my son said, hey dad, I want to eat something good today, something delicious today. Typically, delicious things are not healthy. Typically, don't quote me for that. But my wife gave me an idea to make a wheat-based pizza. So healthy plus delicious, because it's a pizza, right? So from concept, we'll move to planning. From planning, we'll move to the construction, basically where you actually construct it. From construction, we'll move to the testing. From testing, we will actually implement it. And finally, we will close it, right? So that's your end-to-end project life cycle, step by step, what we will be doing, okay? Then we also talk about, typically we are doing a project in order to create some kind of product. So what is that product? In our pizza project, our product is the pizza. Let's say I want to make a website. What is that website? A website is my product. So a product could be a physical product, a product could be an artifact, a product can be a service also, a product or a service, right? Like for example, you are watching these videos, we have an entire CAPM exam simulator on that website. What is that exam simulator where you are watching videos, doing questions? What are all these things? That's actually a product which is helping you to achieve your dream of clearing the CAPM exam or PMP exam if you're watching this video for the PMP exam also. Similar to a project life cycle, we also have a product life cycle. Now, what is a product life cycle? A life cycle as the name states, the lifespan of a product. and throughout that lifespan of that product, you do multiple things. Like for instance, this product, when I first started, we started this product with questions, only questions, and that were PMP related questions. But then soon we moved into videos, we added videos, then we added slides on that product. And now we not just have PMP, we have CAPM, which you are watching right now, we have PGMP, we have PFMP, we have ACP. And not just this, we also talk about Microsoft Project, the technical certifications as well, which will help you in your project management career. Right? So a product life cycle is what is the lifespan of that product. Step by step, you follow it to make sure that product is usable for you. So what is project management? We are doing a project, as the name states, project plus management. So we are managing a project, right? That's project management. Now, what do I mean by that? What are we trying to do in a project? A project we are doing which is unique, which is temporary, because we want to achieve something. That's your project. What is management? Managing that project to deliver something which is valuable to you, something which is valuable to the outside world, like this CAPM course. This CAPM course which you are watching, that is so valuable, not just for you to clear this certification in first attempt, but in reality to learn end to end. That's your project management. Similarly to project management, we have program management. And before I explain you what program management is, it's very important to understand what is program. What is a program? A program is basically a combination of multiple similar projects. Now, what do I mean by that? For instance, I'm not just helping people to pass the PMP exam. That's just one aspect of it. I'm also helping students who are recently graduated who want to become a project manager. So what I'm trying to do is, if I'm managing only one aspect, I will only help one set of people. But no, I'm managing my CAPM project, I am managing my PMP project, and I am also managing my program management, or I am managing the agile project. Somebody wants to go into only the agile framework, but I am doing all of these as part of project management certifications, right? They are similar to each other. They have a similar kind of business vision or results. That's your program management. Now, what is a portfolio? Now, a portfolio, think of portfolio as it's the very top. Under portfolio, you have different programs. And then under different programs, at the bottom, you have projects, right? So what is a portfolio? A portfolio is a combination of project, programs, operations, smaller portfolios to maintain, to achieve the business objectives, the strategic objectives of the organization. Like I have a portfolio which is a certification portfolio, but at the same time, I also have a portfolio for helping people find a job, like how to prepare for an interview, how to make sure what to answer in a interview related questions. I have a portfolio, but that portfolio is little different as compared to certification portfolio, where people come in just to clear the certification exam. So these are two different portfolios, but ultimately it's both of these portfolios are helping to achieve my strategic objective. What is my strategic objectives? Help a person to achieve their ultimate goal end to end, whether it is to clear a certification or grow in your career, or to learn something which is valuable to you, which nobody can take that from you, right? That's a portfolio. What is portfolio management? As the name states, managing a portfolio is your portfolio management. Ultimately, the goal is to meet the strategic objectives of the organization. There is one certification from PMI which is all about portfolio management. That's your PFMP, Portfolio Management Professional. I'm actually a PFMP certified as well, and all over the world there are less than, when I recorded this video, there are less than 1,000 PFMPs in the entire world, and your trainer, your mentor is also one of them, and I feel proud of it, to be honest. Now, what is operation? So operation is something which is not temporary. A project is temporary, right? Operation is not temporary. In fact, it's something which is ongoing, no end date. Like for example, you pick up a phone and you call a call center that, hey, my phone is not working or this device is not working. You're calling to a call center is managing an operation. You're not the first one who have called them. They do this in and out. Maybe the problem is little different, but ultimately for many cases the problem is also the similar. Like, similarly they sometimes they say, like, if your internet is not working, did you restart your modem, did you restart your router? All these are your operational work. Okay, like if you call my customer support team, that's an operational work which they are doing day in and day out. What is operation management? Operation manager, a management which is managing the operations of the organization. Like in my team, I have a customer success manager, I have a customer support manager. A customer support manager is a kind of an operational manager, because on a daily basis we get so many emails from new students, from existing students. They want something, they don't see it. Who is managing their day-to-day activities? That's the operation manager who is doing. So that's your operation management. Relationship of project, programs, portfolio and operations management. Now, a project can actually have three scenarios. First, it could be a standalone, which is not part of any program or portfolio. It's such a big initiative for the organization that it's not part of any program, right? Second, a project can be part of a program, or third, it can be part of a bigger portfolio. And of course, operation also comes into the picture as well. You can have an operation part of a project or a program or a portfolio, or in fact, an operation itself is such a huge, such a big thing that it can be managed on its own as well, as a separate entity, to be honest. Now, let's talk about the project environment. A project environment is an environment in which the projects are managed. It could be an internal environment, it could be an external environment. Now, what do I mean by internal environment? Something which is within the organization. Like for example, you are working for an organization which follows agile, adaptive methodology. So that's an agile environment. That's the way your organization manages it, right? So that's an internal environment. Then you have external environment. What is an external? Something which is outside your control. Like I'm making these CAPM videos and next day PMI comes up with a big change that I have to re-record. So that's an external environment which I don't have control to. But a project can be impacted by both internal as well as external environment. What is a project phase? A project phase is, like for example, I'll tell you that a project phase can be a collection of multiple related projects. Now let me tell you, like for instance, I make these videos, right? You see these videos in front of you, but where are you watching these videos? Most likely you are watching these videos on a computer, on a device, on a phone, right? But let's say if you want to watch these videos as part of your Android app, or if you want to watch these videos as a part of your Apple app, all these three are three different phases for me. First, I will make videos and test questions which are compatible with a computer, with a laptop, so that you can do this on a website. Then phase number 2, I'll repeat the same steps, but now I will make an Android app on top of that. The third phase would be that I will replicate the same functionality what I did in Android app. I'll do it in the Apple app as well. So these are the three different phases for my project. So some of the examples of phase names I think we have already done. We started with concept, we moved to the feasibility study, why you're doing it. Then we actually talk about the customer requirements where we take, then we actually develop the solution, we design it, then we show a prototype to the customer. So all these are a series of phase names. Then after every phase, you have a phase gate. Now what is a phase gate? A phase gate is more like a checkpoint. At the end of the project, you want to check whether is it worth it to move to the next phase or not. Like for example, I completed this entire set of videos and questions to be compatible with a laptop or a computer or a phone. but is it really worth it to make a Android app for it or not? Where will I take that decision? I will take that decision in a phase gate where my senior management, my investors, my everybody would sit there, discuss the pros and cons, that is it really, we'll do some cost benefit analysis and see, is it really worth it to make a CAPM app or not? If everybody says yes, it's worth it, we will do it. But this entire process where you take a decision whether to move to the next project or not is your phase gate. It's also known as kill point. It's also known as queue gates, phase entrance, phase exit. These are some of the common names which is defining phase gate. We also have two different types of relationships. First, we have a sequential relationship. Sequential relationship is you are doing things in sequence. Like I first made the website, then I made the Android app, then I made the Apple app. So I did it in sequence. I'm not doing things in parallel. What is the drawback of doing these things one by one? It's time consuming process. Why it is time consuming process? Because I'm not doing things in parallel. So I'm not saving time. In fact, once my website is stable, fully functional, I feel that it is right, then only I started the Android app. And finally, I started the Apple app. So that's how it is. And finally, we also have overlapping relationship where we are doing multiple things at the same time. Like one team is working on the website development, one team is working on the Android development, third team is working on the Apple app. All of these people are doing things parallelly. It saves times better, but the quality is not that great. What do I mean by that? If let's say a requirement changes in one, the requirement I need to rework in all the different products as well. So that's a disadvantage of overlapping relationship, that it has more risks as compared to sequential. But a positive side of overlapping is that it saves you time as well. And finally, we have one of the another terms which is very commonly used is your triple constraint triangle. A triple constraint triangle is about three things: scope, cost, and schedule or time. What do I mean by that? What does triple constraint triangle says? A triple constraint triangle says that a change in one leg of the triangle may impact at least one of the other two. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's go back to our pizza project. I made everything looks delicious, but my neighbor's son came to me and said, "Hey uncle, I want to eat garlic bread along with me as well." So what is this? That's a scope related change. Now, because of that scope related change, what will be the impact on time? What will be the impact on cost? Now I need more resources to bake that garlic bread. Am I making the garlic bread from scratch, or I'm actually getting it from outside? I'm just putting it in the oven. But all this means my cost will increase. Second, my time will increase as well. I cannot just give it to them immediately. Or you know what? Another way of doing it, just call an Italian restaurant and get a garlic bread from them. That's your triple constraint triangle. A change in one of the leg may impact at least one of the other two legs. Okay. And last, some of the most common terms which we will be using throughout this course is first, risk and issues. The difference between risk and issues. Risk, something which may or may not happen. Issue, something which has actually happened. A risk is, now let's talk about risk. While I'm making the pizza, there may be a risk that the base becomes too hard. There may be, right? Or maybe not. So it's a risk on my project. But let's say I actually baked that pizza, and when it came out, it actually was, the base was very hard. It was not even eatable. That's when it actually happened. That is your issue. What is assumption? What is constraints? Assumption, as the name states, something which you assume to be true. Like for example, I'm assuming few things. I'm assuming that the freshly baked dough which I'm making is healthy, right? I'm assuming that because I'm making a wheat based dough for my pizza. So I'm assuming that it's true. Again, it's not necessary, but what if it's not true? then it becomes a risk, right? My whole purpose of making this pizza project is because I want to eat a delicious food, at the same time something healthy for my son, right? So I'm assuming few things. I'm assuming I have a pan with me. I'm assuming I have the olive oil with me if I'm using olive oil for the pizza, right? What is constraint? A constraint is a limiting factor that affects the execution of my project. Like for example, I have a constraint. Let's say my neighbors told me that Varun, we have to go back. They have an appointment at 8 p.m. So I have a constraint that before 8 p.m. I should get the pizza baked. They should eat it. All that needs to be done within that time constraint. Secondly, my wife said that I'm allowing you, I'm giving you the money because she's the sponsor on this project. I'm only signing off on this project if you are doing this under $20. Otherwise, we're gonna take it out, we're gonna eat the pizza from outside so that it's cost effective also, right? So that's a cost constraint for me, that everything which I am doing to make this pizza, it should be less than $20. So that $20 is a cost constraint on my project. So that marks the completion of the theoretical part of first video on introduction to project management core concepts. Now what we will do is we will do some practice questions together so that let's see how much you have learned, right? Okay, let me read the questions. Question number 1. Which of the following does not describe what a project is? A. Continuous ongoing. B. Temporary. C. Unique. 4. Can stand alone, which means basically a standalone project. So as you know, I told you that a project is temporary, which means that it has a specific end date. It's not continuous, it's not ongoing. In fact, a continuous or an ongoing is an operation. So option number A is not part of project or what project is. Okay, let's do next question. Related project, subsidiary programs and program activities that are managed in a coordinated manner to maintain benefits not available from managing them individually refers to. So related projects. That's a keyword, related projects. What's a related project? That's your program which I taught you. So the correct answer should be C. These questions are easy. Why these questions are easy? Because your CAPM exam would be easy. Once again, you will 101% pass the CAPM exam, but don't watch these videos to pass this exam. That will 101% happen. Watch these videos so that you can be better prepared. You can use these terminologies day in, day out in your professional work environment. That should be your focus. So this question answer should be C, program. Let's do third question. A review at the end of a phase in which a decision is made to continue to the next phase, to continue with the modification or to end a project or a program is known as A, project phase, project life cycle, phase gate or project constraint. As I told you, I think you already know the answers. You already know the answer to this. Remember, it's a review. You take a decision. Should you go out? Should you move out? Or should you not move out? Or you should kill a project. That's your kill point, also known as phase gate, which is option number C. Okay, so we learned couple of things. We learned about project, program, portfolio. We also understand the difference between project and product. We also did some life cycle overview. We talked about the operations, the difference between project and operations. We also talked about the project environment, the internal environment, the external environment. We understood the difference, the relationship of project, program, portfolio and operations management. We also discussed about the phase gate, which is known as the Q gate, the phase entrance. Yeah, that's what it is. And finally, we ended the video with a triangle of constraints, also known as the iron triangle. So let's quickly do some quick revision. Focus on the difference between project, program and portfolio. Focus on internal and external project environment. Don't forget to focus on the triple constraint triangle, and remember, I taught you about risks, issues, assumptions and constraint. In the next video, I will talk about the development approaches. Very, very important, where I will show you what is predictive, what is agile, iterative, incremental, a very important video. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.